Salve, salve YouTube, estamos de volta com mais um vídeo. Vamos continuar a série de Banishers Ghost of New Eden. Quem puder deixar um like, um comentário, se inscrever no canal, vai ajudar bastante o canal a crescer. Vamos lá, vamos continuar.
Something has me. Wards. A ward restrains me.
Demonologists really like pushing the limits of their knowledge without considering other lives.
That just makes them human. Red, I can't.
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm?
I'm back.
At long last.
Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
Que isso?
Spectres. They haven't noticed us. Stay low.
Se não ouvir, vamos pro outro lado então.
Wards. You're on your own. Red, I can't manifest anymore.
Pera aí. Eles ali não viu.
An Ariadne's thread leading through the void. Very useful indeed.
Very useful right until it falls apart. Then you're stuffed like force meat in a turkey.
Passagem ali ou a passagem aqui? Qual que é a melhor?
Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
Mapa desenhado à mão do campo com as iniciais ER2 lugares foram circulados: o moinho abandonado e o cemitério Gold Acre. O véu entre o Aralu e o encanador e o encarnado encanador. O encarnado parece particularmente fino nessas duas áreas. Uma fenda? Aparições fantasmagóricas podem ser controladas ou pelo menos guiadas com diversos rituais conhecidos. Eles devem ser realizados com muito cuidado para que o controle não seja cedido com um efeito potencialmente catastrófico. Uma equação ilegível. Se as palavras de poder diferiu de 0,1 em densidade e as proteções apropriadas não foram usadas como cuidado, o fantasma crescerá, mas não se dobrará à vontade do demologista. Isso deve ser evitado, sob risco de ferimentos generalizados, morte ou pior.
This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void.
I should give this place a proper sweep. Maybe I should search some more.
Tem mais coisa aqui? Aqui, ó.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased.
So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
O que você está fazendo aqui? Quem é você realmente? Sou sobre Caleb Watson.
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
Are you a demonologist like your father?
More or less. Less, more so. My father sees occultism through the eyeglass of his faith, but I know better. So, more so?
If you don't share your father's faith, what do you believe?
I believe in the afterlife. The proof is about us. And if the void embodies eternal despair, there must too be a place of hope. But where? I ask myself, where?
Seu pai está em uma caça às bruxas. Sua vida está em jogo.
We find you up to your neck in the blackest magic, speechifying about your transcendent journey. Your life is on the line, Lammy.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye. I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir, Then of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them, the very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now at first I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
Can you prove that? Where's your evidence?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Was it the same illness?
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
Sobre a fonte, sobre a teoria do cheiro, sobre aquele estado de confusão.
You've based all this on a peculiar smell.
Well, not only that. Also observation, experience, elimination of other possibilities. As a Banisher, you surely understand that the limits of our perception far exceed the bounds of our normal attention. As a scientist, it's important to look closer, the better to understand what the Araloo is really made of. Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
Realmente lindo conto, você viu a dor dele como uma oportunidade.
You saw his grief as an opportunity to test the effects of the lesser palingenesis.
Oh, you know the ritual too? Amazing, isn't it?
I've studied it. The actual ritual, not the mangled version you gave Caleb.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of Die Occulte Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating!
Você deve consertar seus caminhos, seus estudos que o colocam em perigo.
Are you aware of what would happen if people learnt of your studies?
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Do you remember Deborah?
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Quem era aquele amigo? Ele ensinou segredo?
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lamy. But thank you.
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Do you still need to eat? Do you feel hunger? Sorry, it's just you're the first ghost I've met, in person, as it were.
I don't eat. Not in the way you do. I feel hunger. Again, not in the way you do.
Fascinating. And can you touch things, smell them? Are colours the same as you remember them?
My senses are different. It's difficult to describe how. I can see, sometimes touch. I cannot smell. Red tells me this is a blessing.
How do you manifest in this plane? Do you feel bound, or are you here by choice?
It feels as if I were clinging to a rope, high above the abyss. Even if I wished to let go, I could not bring myself to do it.
I see. What about your Banisher skills? Can you use them? Do the accoutrements of your craft still work? As a ghost, do they not harm you?
The marks on my hands and the rings on my fingers aren't actually there. They have no more effect on me than a memory.
Can you talk to any ghost you wish?
No. I sense traces of their presence. To talk to them, I must still do the work.
And yet here I am, talking to you. How marvelous. The dead are rarely as articulate, nor are they accommodating. In fact, they're often quite rude.
We should probably get going. Some other time, then.
But we've merely scratched at the surface of the great mysteries. I mean, look around us. We stand here beyond the ultimate frontier. Sorry. I mean to say, yes, Mistress Duarte.
Pô, conversa, vambora.
Tinteiro, we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
The more powerful the loose cannon, the more dangerous it is. I can't smell the stench Lamy spoke of, but I feel strange, and I suspect the ooze.
Only one way to find... Oh, God! I need a wee bit of help here.
Ugh. Lamy was right. This stuff means business. Wards, you're on your own.
Entendendo pra onde tem que ir. E aqui em cima, pelo jeito.
Wards, think you can fend for yourself? Beware. Wards.
Não sei o que tem que fazer.
Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
Cadê o negócio?
Wards, you're on your own. I am warded. I cannot. A ward restrains me.
Não tô vendo nada. Odeio quando não tem dica onde tem que ir.
Something has me. Wards. I'm at your side again.
Reinforcements!
You'll get it next time. Don't let it crush you.
Eu vim de lá pra cá, né?
It oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side. Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
The ooze affects the incarnate too. Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be then?
What was...
Innocence crushed. Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You? It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
Quem quiser ler aqui, eu só dou uma pausa, tá?
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs. I feel a draft.
From the invisible.
Dentro da caixa de Pandora, assim na terra como no céu.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
Gibbs, obrigado pela sua nota. O próprio Deus sabe que que os tempos são difíceis. Que você não pudesse honrar nosso último pedido de grãos era compreensível. Nós nos encontramos em uma posição semelhante, e após a morte do nosso último gado, teremos que cancelar o nosso próximo pedido. Segue em anexo o saldo da nossa conta, que consideremos encerrada, pelo menos até tempos melhores voltarem. Deus sabe a todos nós dessa maldição. Richard Mellons.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money. And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Was the Gibbs' house targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
They were determined to do for her. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart. Ready and waiting.
Um baú ali em cima, hein?
Picking up something spectral nearby.
Pera aí. Primavera de 1695. Preparo de paredes, dízimos, cerveja, pão, velas, carpinteiro, madeira, artigos diversos, receita. 80 peças de 8. Milhos, carne, cavalo. A receita só. E a mulher, maravilhada com isso, confessou que essas coisas eram verdadeiras e ela e outras pessoas mencionadas nesse discurso sobrenatural tiveram familiaridade com o diabo. Ao ser questionada se ela havia feito um pacto expresso com ele, ela respondeu que não, apenas prometi ir com ele quando chamasse. Ela fez várias vezes. Não, pera aí. Por que eu só tô com 2? Mas eu vou encerrar o vídeo por aqui. Gente, voltamos no próximo episódio. Até mais, valeu e falou.